What's up, bosses? This week we're talking how to properly secure airlines from your trailer to your rig, and we're showing off some women who are rocking the logistics world. So let's get trucking. Matt the little guy has been hard at work on the road, but he says he's been spotting some issues that are rather easy to fix for truckers: proper airline connections. So he's going to break down the how-tos and the how-not-tos in today's Little Guy on the Street.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Little Guy here with the Truck Boss Show, and keeping in tradition with being DOT compliant, another telltale sign for you to get pulled in for an inspection while you're on the scales is this stuff right here. When you're sitting on the scale, waiting for them to give you the green light, and they're looking around, trying to figure out what they can pull you in for, your pigtail and your airlines, okay? If these things are touching the catwalk and hanging down on the catwalk like this, and they're all loose and stuff hanging down, it's a no-no, because what happens is when you guys turn the trailer, you guys are making sharp turns and backing maneuvers, these things rub along the catwalk and they can get chafed, they can have an air leak and all that other good stuff. So make sure that your airlines and your pigtail are up, okay? The little spring here, this spring, I'm gonna move the camera. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. This spring here, sometimes it gets worn out or whatever. Sometimes you might have to adjust, these things here and pull it back a little bit. Sometimes you might have to use a zip tie to keep it up and to keep it, get creative. I did. I used zip ties. I used a bungee, and look. Look. Let me show you. That's how it looks. That's what it looks like. You see? It doesn't hang down, and it still has enough slack in it to not hang on the catwalk. Okay, that's one of the things that they look at, just like we were talking about having a dirty dashboard, having stuff like that. So make sure that your airlines and your pigtail are properly secured. Okay? Okay. All right. Okay. This is the Little Guy Truck Boss Show. See you next time. Yeah.
Some great info there from Matt. Remember, you can find Matt the Little Guy and his alter ego Joey exclusively here on the Truck Boss Show, so hit that subscribe button so you don't miss their next segment. Brittany?
Getting started in the trucking industry can be overwhelming, and most people need a good mentor to help them along the way. This next story is about a group of women who came together and all share the same goal: to support the business success of women in transportation and logistics by providing opportunities for development. Check out the awesome women of Ladies of Logistix.
So Ladies of Logistix came together. I read up on you guys, and I was like, oh, nice. Some teamwork came into play. So how did you guys even come up with this idea, though?
When I started in transportation, I didn't know any other women. That was back in 2009. And I made a lot of mistakes, lost a lot of money. There was just a lot of things I didn't know. Figured if I knew other women, I probably would have been successful. If I just had that female that I could call and talk to and ask questions and we could vent, maybe it would have been better. Now we have the leading ladies of logistics.
You two come in and you guys start having a conversation. What comes to mind?
So I got super excited. There's somebody else that's doing something exactly like me, whether it's in transportation, whether it's like a fleet owner, a freight broker. So being able just to, like I said, connect with these ladies and we're all doing the same thing, it was just like a dream come true, because everybody that I spoke with was like the gatekeeper, the secretary, wasn't like a real female boss.
So what made you jump into the industry?
My first accounting job was at a freight forwarder. While I was there, I was in accounts receivables, and I was managing an account for a carrier for a trucking company. Matt, we talked about his account. He let me know that he was, expanding into the Charleston area. I went over with him. I learned a lot about the industry. He's my mentor, and we grew $1 million terminals down the East Coast over into the South a little bit, learning everything from the back office to the front office to daily operations. And ultimately, my love is the numbers. So I ended up being this well-rounded person in the transportation industry from managing one account at a freight forwarding office.
From Vanessa being in it for 17 years, who's next in line?
Well, for me,
What made you jump in?
my father-in-law, he was actually driving for someone else, and he would work really hard, you know, be gone for a long time. And when he would come home, he just didn't have a lot of money. And in my mind, like, you're always gone, you're always working, you're never with your family, you're missing holidays and events. You should have a lot of money. Let's talk to me about this trucking stuff. And so he started talking to me and educating me on some things. And he was like, you know, I could buy a used truck right now and fix it up and get on the road. And when he told me how much that would cost, I'm like, wait a minute, I got that in the bank right now. Let's go get the truck. And really, that's how it started. It was to really help a family member. He's been driving now for over 45 years, and most of what I know from trucking, I learned from him.
Samantha and Tawana, at what point did you guys decide being in the trucking industry was for you girls?
So I actually got in partly because of my husband. So he used to be partners with this guy. Eddie wanted to get out of the industry and more focus on like home renovation. So my husband started this bright idea of buying the truck from him. I had no idea anything about the trucking business. So my husband was more of like the driver and actually like, you know, like in the shop helping with the repairs and whatnot, where Eddie actually did the back office. So we kind of had to learn that over, you know, or I guess from like the beginning. Purchased the truck. I have actually a binder that I still have from when we first started, where I taught myself the trucking industry, and we've been in it ever since.
That's awesome. Tawana?
Ex-partner of mine wanted to get into the business, so we purchased a truck. And of course, for me, that was definitely not the right way to go, because didn't have any education, any knowledge. So like Tristan, failed miserably the first time around in the industry, but was able to connect to the right people and do it right the second time.
What all are you guys doing to help out other drivers that are stepping in?
I had to learn the hard way going along, and so we want to help other women avoid that. So one of the first things we did was we created a group on Facebook, which now has grown to over 3,000 women. We recently had an event in Atlanta that was it's still mind-blowing to me. Like, I'm still on a high from it because it was amazing. So we have that next event coming up in November of 2021 back in Atlanta again. And the mission is to continue to help women, to help them find the right resources and the right people to assist them in their journey.
Where can they find you if they want information and they have other questions that maybe I didn't get to?
First, they could visit our website. It's www.leadingladiesoflogistics with the X. I'm on IG, Twitter, and Facebook as @LadyLogistics, and LinkedIn as well.
You guys are doing something great. It's amazing.
And the Ladies of Logistics Transportation and Networking Conference is going to be November 4th through 6th in Atlanta, Georgia. If you want to know more about that or get tickets, please visit the link below.
All right, and let's go ahead and talk about things we're doing next week, because you're going to notice that the Truck Boss Show is going to look a little different. Because we're going to be doing our first live event in like a year and a half.
Yes, we're so excited. We're going to the Big Rig Challenge. Carlin, it's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to see this style of drag racing.
It will be an awesome event. I've talked to all of our other Truck Boss Show members about it, and they've all told me that it's one of the better shows they've been to.
Yes.
And I'm disappointed that I'm not going to get to go, because we're going to be trading off and I get to hold down the fort here. However, Brittany's going to be there, and she's going to bring you all that awesome live information Friday and Saturday. Of course, our friend Tony Justice is going to be performing as well with some other local bands there. So it's going to be great.
We're going to be giving out tons of free goodies, tons of free stuff. So please, if you're in the area or you just want to come up and visit, go. It's going to be so much fun.
And then, of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, because we can't keep bringing you this awesome information and entertainment at this point without your support. And why do we do this, Brittany?
Because you're the boss.